So it occurred to me the other day that I hadn't reacted to the top 100 prospects from the end of the 2024 season. Big reason being the Mets were in the playoffs. The World Series was great this year. I just got very busy. So today I'm going to go look at MLB Pipeline's top 100 prospects to end the 2024 season and give you my thoughts and opinions on the guys on the list and who I think maybe should be left off or left on. As always, drop a like on the video if you enjoy it and subscribe so you don't miss out on the content. All right, first up we have Jefferson Rojas of the Chicago Cubs. Jefferson Rojas, one of the most exciting young prospects right now. Look at his age, 19 years old. I believe he got up to high A this year, and he had not a great season by any means, but there are a lot of people who are excited about what Jefferson Rojas can be moving forward. Again, at the bottom of the top 100, I'm okay with you just throwing in guys that you think will be moving up next year based on performance. Jefferson Rojas getting to high A at 19, there's something to watch there. Number 99, Carson Williams, Mets first round pick. He had a really good minor league season in the 15 games, 856 OPS. He's shown a lot of really good stuff, a great left-handed swing, can play the outfield. The ceiling is pretty high right now on Carson Williams, and people in the Mets world are super excited about him. Glad to see him make the top 100. I thought he was a fringe guy. Ralphie Velasquez of the Cleveland Guardians, good power hitting first baseman, 19, got up to high A. He's really talented. A.J. Smith-Shawver being on this list, I actually don't hate it. I think he's a really good pitcher. I'm excited to see what the Braves can do with him next year because he's a dude who's young. I don't think he's really even been pitching that much. Yeah, because he was trying to be a quarterback. He focused on baseball, and he's really talented. In the small sample we've seen at the majors, 30 innings, 3.6 ERA. This year in the minors, it wasn't great, but honestly, I don't really care about AAA pitching numbers that much. That league is so bizarre. Smith-Shawver is someone who should definitely crack the rotation next year for the Braves. Augustin Ramirez makes it for the Marlins. Wow, inside the top 100. I honestly don't know how he did. Oh, he did well. Okay, that's good. He did well with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp at the second half of the season after he got traded. He's someone who I don't truly know what the ceiling is on a hit tool first catcher whose hit tool's not that particularly good. Again, I thought the Yankees completely fleeced the Marlins in that trade, but he's in the top 100 as of right now. Franklin Arias, another young middle infield prospect that's making it onto this. He had a really good year, ended up getting into A-ball. Of course, he was 19, 18 years old, so didn't put up the greatest numbers, but the Red Sox hitting development has been incredible. They're really just focused on improving bat speed, and they feel like if you improve bat speed, you will improve as a player. They did it with Christian Campbell, who you're going to see higher up on this list. They did it with Roman Anthony. Keep an eye out for Franklin Arias next year. Trey Savage, he was the first-round pick by the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't think he pitched. Yeah, he didn't pitch, but he came out of East Carolina. He's got a big fastball, really good splitter, really good slider. He's a good pitcher, definitely top 100 prospect. Cam Collier, he was the Futures Game MVP, I believe. He had a weird season. It was very up and down. 20 homers, though, 20 doubles, 74 RBIs, and he walked almost 70 times in how many games? 120 games, so he was walking almost every other game. He's a guy who I think his growth is not going to be as linear as many, but there might just be a crazy rise at some point because the talent is there for Cam Collier. Cam Caminiti, he was the first-round pick by the Braves this past year. He made one appearance. There's not much to judge there, but again, first-round pick, out of high school, good fastball, good curveball, talented player. Thomas Harrington. Ooh, Thomas Harrington sneaks on here. I believe he was a Campbell Camel, right? A couple years ago, taken out of the draft. He's a dude who is going to be knocking on the door of that rotation for the Pirates next year. He made 8 starts at AAA. 3.33. He's got a decent fastball. He's just more of a pitcher rather than the Paul Skeens type that you saw come out of the Pirates org. He's going to be a guy who will be middle to back end of the rotation. Harlan Susana is one of the most exciting young pitching prospects in baseball. He's 20 years old, got to high A, and he throws 103. That's really all you need to know. 103 with a wipeout slider. This dude could be a future ace in the making if you're in some Dynasty Fantasy Baseball leagues. Keep an eye out for him. He's still a long ways away, probably at least a full season, but the talent is through the roof for Harlan Susana. Jacob Melton, again, I don't really see it with Jacob Melton being a top 100 prospect. Again, just didn't really do that much. He's a little bit older. I don't think he should be a top 100 guy. James Tibbs, I didn't see what his numbers were at A-ball this year. So they were bad at high A, good in low A. It's tough in your first professional year. Giants first-round pick. I am not particularly high on Tibbs like some are. I guess we'll just wait and see. Ryan Clifford, let's go another Met on here. I think he's an interesting prospect just because he's very much a 3 true outcome guy right now. 19 homers, 27 doubles, walked 95 times, but struck out 160. A 220 average with a 372 on base is like crazy slash line. But the power is what you get excited about for Ryan Clifford. He's a future first baseman for the New York Mets. I don't think he'll be an outfielder. Alejandro Rosario. This is a name I don't know. 60-grade fastball, 55 slider, 60 splitter. 18 appearances this year between A and high A. And he dominated. Granted, he was a little bit older. He dominated. This guy was disgusting. A whip under 1. Okay, Alejandro Rosario. We'll keep an eye out for you. 5th-round pick last year, or in 2023. I mean, the Rangers are cooking something over there. It's a good organization. Braxton Ashcraft is a dude who's going to be at the major league level. I don't think he cracked it. Yeah, he didn't crack it last year. Look at these numbers. Really good. Just didn't throw a lot of innings, but he's a solid pitcher as well. Good depth in what's going to be a very good Pittsburgh Pirates rotation for years and years to come. Brady House could be the reason maybe the Nationals don't sign a guy like Alex Bregman. Third baseman, no longer a shortstop. Big dude. I mean, look at the size on Brady House. 6'4", 208 at 21 years of age, already up to AAA. He struggled mightily, though. The numbers were not great, but the power was good. Almost 20 homers and 20 doubles on the year for Brady House. There's definitely still a lot of improvement in his game, but he is huge. He is a massive human being. If the development ever clicks, he could be a stud. Zach Veen, I think it was just a down year for Veen. Really didn't play very much, only 65 games. He's got a sweet swing. Like I was a huge fan of his coming out of the 2020 draft. It's taken a little bit longer. Injuries have played into it. He's got to make the major league level next year for the Rockies, surely. Just give him a shot. Put him in Coors. Drew Jones. I think we're sleeping a little bit too much on Drew Jones right now. Look at these numbers. If you told me that there was a 20-year-old, 19-year-old prospect in A-ball that had a 400 on-base percentage, granted, the power numbers are not great, and that is concerning, but off a shoulder injury, which we know hurts the power, a 400 on-base, 275 average, stealing 20 bags? I don't know, man. I think we're sleeping on Drew Jones a little bit. I think he should be higher up. At number 81, Starlin Caba. This is similar to Jefferson Rojas, a guy who is 18 years old, cracked the minor league system outside of the summer leagues, and he looked like an 18-year-old who was not particularly ready. I'm interested to know why he is so much further ahead of other guys. See, like, this is where MLB Pipeline confuses me, is like, why is he all the way up here when I don't think he's necessarily done anything? I don't think his size is projectable either. Like, how is Drew Jones not getting ahead of him? I know it's one spot, but this is where I disagree at times with other prospect rankings. Is like, maybe I just miss it. Maybe I don't get it. I don't know. It's possible. Jacob Mizorowski had a bad year in the minors. Was not great, but he still throws gas. I mean, he had a bad year relatively, being that he didn't throw very much. And I believe he walks an insane amount of guys. Yeah, 50 walks in 79 innings. Not particularly great. The stuff's crazy on him. He throws 102 miles an hour. The curveball, the slider. 3 star pitches. Brewers will be able to do it if there's anybody. I expect him to be a part of that rotation next year. Travis Sakura is someone who's flying up boards right now. He's 6'6". He's a massive human being, and he throws gas. 70 grade fastball, 60 grade slider. He was unbelievably dominant in A-ball in his first year of professional baseball. Look at these numbers: 85 innings, 2.33 ERA, a whip under 1. The Nationals are cooking, man. It's scary. Speaking of which, Jackson Ferris, who came over from the Cubs in the Michael Busch trade, might be a mistake. The two guys they gave up, Jackson Ferris, Zaire Hope, look really good. The Dodgers have done it yet again. This dude looks like a star. Jackson Ferris could be a future frontline starter, I think, for this Dodgers rotation. Dominated Double-A, was good at high A-ball. He's only, 20 years old? Oh, he's got the same birthday as me, too. Shout out Jackson Ferris. I'm a sucker for a big lefty who's got a nice curveball and a good enough fastball, and that's exactly what he's got. And in that Dodgers org, the sky's the limit. Quinn Matthews making the top 70, or top 80, I should say here. This is a dude who came from Stanford. He was a really good college pitcher, and the Cardinals have been able to get more out of him. He got all the way to AAA last year in his first professional year. I think that's a huge success for this organization. He was, a fourth round pick. He's going to be at the majors next year. Really good pitcher. Sal Stewart. Whoa. Sal Stewart's a name I have not heard or seen in a while. He had a great year at Dayton. 20 years old, 845 OPS. The power numbers weren't particularly there, but he got on base. He doesn't strike out. Just seems like a guy who, if he continues, will be an everyday major league player, although the athleticism is quite low on Sal Stewart. That's why second base is interesting. Tamar's fallen a bit. Another guy who's just not taking that next step forward. Again, I'm not sure. I guess maybe the power's why they have Tamar over a guy like Drew Jones, and he did get to Double-A. I'm just more so not hating on Tamar, more so why is Drew Jones not getting enough love. But I think we are also kind of harsh on Tamar too right now. He just might not be that stud player that we thought. Drew Gilbert for the Mets at 74. I'm actually surprised to see him this high. I thought he would have been in the 90-ish range, around like the Carson Benj range. Just didn't have a good year, dealt with injuries, probably not a center fielder anymore. I like Drew Gilbert as a player. I just think his ceiling has come down a bit. Cam Smith's going to be the hot guy right now. He was awesome. He got up to Double-A in his first professional season in the minors, and he was sick. I mean, he dominated Low-A. He dominated High-A in the small sample. Double-A, he hit a bit of a snag, but it was 5 games. I mean, Cam Smith, really good bat. The Cubs have a very, very interesting prospect in him. I'm glad to see Pipeline didn't go crazy, though, because I was shocked that they didn't have him inside the top 50 right now. Angel Henao. Wow, really? He's cracking the list. Oh, he had a great year. Whoa, okay, so at A-ball, he was awesome this year. 10 home runs, 40 doubles, basically. Oh, Angel, you're someone to keep an eye out for. This is like the most Guardians player ever, where he's not going to probably be end up that impactful at the major league level in terms of like all-stars, MVPs, but he's going to be really good, it seems like. All right, Angel. Christian Moore for the Los Angeles Angels. Of course, they're going to fire these guys up through the system, but he played really well. He was good in A-ball for 2 games, and then Double-A. He was really good in 23 games, 5 homers, 4 doubles. Seems like the discipline was pretty solid as well. And at second base, the Angels are going to fly you through the system. That's what they do. Alex Freeland, good Dodgers shortstop prospect. I don't know if shortstop will end up being his home at the end of the day. He does have a good arm, which helps. He put up good numbers. I have some cards of this guy. I'm glad to see that he's playing that well. Noble Meyer, viewer of the channel, stud pitcher. What were his numbers last year in the minors? Because I always loved his stuff. For ERA, I don't actually particularly care about the ERA. What about strikeouts? 74 innings, 85 strikeouts. That's pretty solid stuff. It does seem like the walks, though, were a bit of an issue, so he's got to get the control under, but the stuff is crazy good. Caden Dana got to the major league level. Jersey kid. Good stuff. Definitely the best pitching prospect in the Angel system. Kevin Alcantara. He got to the majors this year? I didn't even realize he got the call up. He's just a freak human, 6'6", has power, good athlete. Felnin Celestine is one of the kind of hot young prospects right now. International class in 2023. He's got some serious pop in the bat. He dominated rookie ball. These numbers are out of control. He's really good. I can't wait to see what he does when he comes to the actual minor league system. Edwin Arroyo, still hanging around here at number 65. I mean, I think he's a guy you could probably start to drop off your list a little bit, maybe be a little bit more harsh. It's getting a little bit worse, but also this is what happens with prospects. There's ebb and flow. Jason Churio, the name is hot right now because of his brother Jackson having such a good rookie season, but Jason did a lot of really good things. He walked a ton. Look at the walks to strikeouts. 86 to 69 is phenomenal. Stealing 44 bags, and he's a decently sized dude at 19 years old. 6'1", put on some more weight, very projectable. He is an exciting prospect for the Guardians. Luke Keeschel, he was someone who everyone was getting really excited about in Minnesota, but he ended up getting an injury, shortened his season, did not allow him to go, but he was great in the minors. I mean, just a good ball player. They're going to find a position for him. Jace Young made the major leagues. I don't really want to talk too much about the guys that are just going to be major league players next year. Jace Young will be one of them. He played at the majors this year, struggled, but he's right around there. He's a 4A player at this point. Tin Kent, I would love to see get to the major league level next year. I mean, I wouldn't as a Mets fan, but as a baseball fan, Tin Kent has got some really awesome stuff. He was a 63rd pick in the 2020 draft. Great fastball. The changeup's awesome. He's got 4 good pitches. Like, he's going to be a very good pitcher. Perfect for the Cardinals. 60, Braden Taylor. Check out his numbers. All he's done is mash. All Braden Taylor's ever done his career is mash. He did hit a snag at Double-A, but that's going to happen with a lot of these guys. He was way too good for High A. Another dude who the Rays will find a spot for. I love his left-handed swing from TCU. Edgar Cuero. Did he have a good year? Honestly, I wrote him off. As soon as he went to the White Sox, I wrote him off. He did have a pretty good year. Triple-A, okay, this is going to be their opening day catcher, surely. 16 homers, 70 RBIs. There's no way he can't start opening day at catcher for the White Sox. He's got to be the best catcher they have in that entire organization, including the major leaguers. Kumar Rocker, we saw him at the majors. He's going to be a part of that rotation next year. He will drop out of here very quickly. The slider's disgusting. He seems like he's healthy. The fastball's electric. The curveball's great. He's going to be a frontline starter for years and years to come. The Rangers got a steal when they got him at 3 because the Mets passed on him. Cooper Pratt, projectable, 6'4", 195, 6th round pick. He's fun. He was a dude that they kind of stole in a way because he was going to go to college, but ended up not going to college. And they loved his size, and you see it starting to pay off a little bit. The power's still not there, but Cooper Pratt got all the way up to High A this past year, was able to hold his own. We saw the power better at High A for them. He's a player I want to keep an eye out for. Bryce Rayner, this was someone who in the draft was one of my favorite prospects. I just loved his swing. He obviously did not play any games. He was in the Florida Coast League. There's going to be some growth with him, but I loved Bryce Rayner as a prospect. 56, I think, is a good spot for him. James Triantos, almost in the top 50. I don't think he'd be almost top 50 prospect for me. I think he is a player he's a Major League Baseball player. It was a good pick, 2nd round pick, and he's going to get to the majors. He's going to be productive. Fantastic. I just don't know if he's in the top 50 for me again. Difference in how we do it. Braden Montgomery, one of my favorite prospects out of the draft, a former 2-way player, didn't play at all. Of course, had a knee injury that kind of hurt him in the draft, but he was a guy who at one point was going to be 1-1 in the previous draft. He's really talented. I can't wait to see what he does when he's healthy. I think the Red Sox got another amazing prospect in the draft. Justin Crawford, listen, he's still not hitting for almost any power. 9 home runs on the year, 25 doubles. One of the best athletes, if not the best athlete in all of the minor leagues. I think Chandler Simpson's up there too, but he is doing some exciting things, and he's got a bigger body, 6'2", 188. If he can learn to hit for some power, Justin Crawford will be a top 10 prospect without a doubt. It's just I have the concern about the power based on his swing, but he's already made a ton of improvements and proving me wrong. Jet Williams, number 52, love Jet. dealt with injuries all year. Wasn't a great season for him. Get back to the drawing board. I'll be interested to see if the Mets keep him. I think he's going to end up being a trade piece. But he's got crazy good exit velos for a smaller guy, and he can play shortstop, center field, outfield. He's talented. Blake Mitchell, almost in the top 50. I guess because the power, I don't know. I don't think I would have him this high. He does walk a lot, but he does strike out. He stole 26 bases. That's actually super interesting. Okay, maybe I do see it a little bit. I don't know if I'd go this. I don't know if I have him ahead of Justin Crawford, who's doing it at Double-A and doing some great. He's good. He's a top 100 prospect. I think it's a little high. Connor Griffin, I think, could be my favorite guy that wasn't the most hyped out of the draft class. Just the size and his swing was really impressive. Why do these guys not play? Why are there so many high school dudes who don't have any stats? That's confusing to me, but if you watch highlights of him, he's a stud. Harry Ford. Everyone kind of sleeping on Harry Ford, kind of forgetting. He's a dude who I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners move on from, and it has nothing to do with his talent. It's just that Cal Raleigh's young and really good, and as much as you would love to have even more talent in that farm system, he feels like an expendable guy where maybe they can go get a major league bat. Okay, these next two prospects, again, will be my favorite in baseball. Josue DePaula, Lazaro Montes, they're both physical freaks, 6'3", right around 200 pounds. Lazaro Montes apparently is even bigger than what he's listed at. He's like my favorite prospect in baseball. If you see him swing, he's baby Yordan, and he puts up crazy numbers. He drove in 105 RBIs this year on 20 homers. I believe he got to high A. He mashes, and Josue DePaula is going to be the Yordan Alvarez that could have been what he was for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but they traded him for Josh Fields. 260 average, 405 on base. He doesn't have the power of Yordan Alvarez, but these guys just remind me of that build. They're huge. They're going to get stronger, and they're both 19 and 20 years old. These are the guys. If you buy baseball cards, buy them. You might already be late to the party. Thomas White, 46, cracking the top 50. All right, Thomas White. I mean, he was an awesome draft pick. I really like what the Marlins did with him. He's got crazy good stuff, and he has been disgusting. Oh, he's disgusting. He's giving up a ton of hits, weirdly, but his stuff is nasty. Damn, 120 strikeouts in 96 innings. Mr. Kurtz of the Oakland A's, doing the thing that you expected. He was going to fly through the minors. He's going to hit at every level. The power is the one thing we're going to keep an eye out for, but in terms of the just kind of hitter that he is, it seems like it's going to translate really well. Moises Ballesteros, wow, 44. I mean, I know he had a good year. How do we project a guy like Moises Ballesteros? Because I don't know what his value is, because defensively he's not good. He's not a good athlete, but he mashes, and he's a little guy. I get scared by those. I get scared by the smaller guys who aren't good athletes that mash. I don't know. It's concerning to me. I wouldn't have put him this high. Jefferson Cuero, a great little catching prospect out in Milwaukee. I really like him behind the plate. And he just didn't do much, though, this year because of injury. Cade Horton. Cade Horton is one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. Again, didn't throw a lot due to injury. Only 9 games this year, but the stuff is really good when he's healthy. Interested to see where he moves up. Chase DeLauder, another dude who deals with injuries, but when he plays, he's awesome. Chase DeLauder was one of my favorite prospects from the 2022 MLB draft. I wanted the Mets to get him so badly. They didn't. The Guardians did. When he plays, he's awesome. His swing looks weird, but he's a beast. He's a stud. Brandon Sproat, Mets. Let's go Mets. Is he going to be our highest? Yeah, I guess he's going to be our highest-ranked prospect, right? If Jet's below him, I think Sproat's going to be number 1. Look what he did in the minors as a pitcher. The guy who was a reliever. The Mets drafted him twice. That's how much they liked him. His numbers have been great. Hit a major snag at AAA, though. We'll see how that looks next year. He's definitely one of the more exciting pitching prospects. Throws 100 with a nasty, like, cutter, changeup, splitter kind of combo. Top 40, Dalton Rushing. Is this the year? Dalton Rushing either gets traded or makes it to the major league level. Continues to just be really good. Like, I feel I probably sleep on him because we're getting a little prospect fatigue, but he's a good hitter. He's a good ball player. I don't think he's going to catch, though. Cole Young at number 38. Love Cole Young. Had a bit of a down year, I think. I think these are probably more realistic numbers that you can expect from Cole Young moving forward. I don't think he's going to be like a 20 home run guy. I think he's going to be like a 10 to 15, get on base, play good defense, and that's a good play. Colson Montgomery did not have a great year at the minor league level. I think it's just the projections are still so high on him because he's 6'3", 225. He runs like a gazelle. Like, he's an incredibly talented player, but the numbers were bad. I don't know what the White Sox are waiting for. Like, get him up. Xavier Isaac, maybe some of the best power in the minor leagues. 18 homers, 21 doubles. I know it doesn't jump off the page, but the Rays know what they're doing. He's going to pull the ball. He went from someone who was a pretty unknown first-round pick, like, whoa, Rays went there, to, yeah, no, Rays went there. They knew what they were doing. Xavier Isaac's awesome. Bryce Eldridge, I was telling you guys about Bryce Eldridge when he got drafted. Star, stud, potential, 6'7", 223. He was a two-way player. They said, hey, Bryce, only focus on hitting, and he had an unbelievable year, one of the best years in minor league baseball. Owen Casey, I think he got put on the 40-man roster. He's a dude who I think could be pushing maybe an Ian Happ eventually out of Chicago at some point. Really talented outfielder from Canada, 2020 draft from the Padres. That was an amazing trade that the Cubs made to get him. Rhett Lauder, you saw him at the major league level. He's going to be a part of the rotation. I think he's got to get the velo up if he wants to get to that next level. That's truly what he is. He's got great stuff. Velo was a little down at the major leagues. Andrew Painter, we really haven't seen him pitch in 2 full seasons. I know he went to the fall league. If healthy, he's a star. 6'7", 217, throws upper 90s, a wicked slider and curveball. Like he's really good. If healthy and things are right, we're talking Cy Young level prospect. Whoa, Kevin McGonigal, short king. Let's go. Made it onto this list for the Tigers. He was someone who a lot of people had as a fringe first rounder in his draft, but everybody liked the makeup and liked the player that he was. And he hits for a high average. He's going to play multiple positions really well. You're not going to get power out of him, but he's just going to be a major league player who does a lot of good things. First round pick from the White Sox, Hagen Smith, got up to high A, 3 starts, 7 innings, 3.52 after a long college season. I mean, he was one of the best pitchers in college baseball. Strikeouts through the roof. I think they're hoping to get another Garrett Crochet type player. Emmanuel Rodriguez, I want to see him at the major league level. He deserves it. Look at this year. I know, again, injuries. He doesn't play much, but in the time he plays, he got up to AAA, and we had a 10.26 OPS in those 47 games. Most of them at AA, where he dominated, but he's a guy who has 2020 potential and even higher. Emmanuel Rodriguez is so talented. Leo Dallas DeVries is super talented. 18 years old, A-ball all year. The Padres said figure it out. He finished with an 800 OPS, 11 home runs, 22 doubles. I think at one point he was even 17 during the season. Yeah, he just turned 18 a month ago. So as a 17-year-old at A-ball, ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. This is going to be a guy who you're going to keep your eye out for. Colt Emerson, awesome. Injuries shortened his season a little bit, but the slash line was good. The on-base percentage is out of control. It's just we got to see some power from Colt. Aiden Miller fell a little bit in the draft, fell right into the Phillies' lap, and he seems like he's going to be a good ball player. He broke his hand, I think, in his high school season, didn't cause him to play a lot, caused him to drop, fell right into the Phillies' lap, and he's a really good prospect. I think this is a pretty good spot for him. Kyle Teal, cracking the top 25. I mean, the future catcher for the Red Sox. You can't ask for much more. A little bit of pop, good defensively, great baseball player. Jacob Wilson will be the A's shortstop to start next year. He was unbelievable in the minors, got hurt at the majors, only played 28 games. It wasn't a great 28, but he's really good. He's a dude who has gotten better and better at every single level as he gets older and older. Sebastian Walcott, Leo Dallas DeVries, Josue DePaulo, these are all guys who could be the number 1 prospect, I think, by some point in 2025. Sebastian Walcott, where DeVries lacks, he has the physical freak specimen tool where he is 6'4", 190 at 18 years old, and he's just putting up some numbers that are eye-opening, like those 34 doubles, gets a little bit stronger. Those are turned into home runs. This is superstar MVP generational type hype we're talking about here with Sebastian Walcott. I think you even have an argument to put him inside the top 5 right now. 18 years old, and he got to AA, and he was putting up good numbers. I don't know how you like other guys better, but whatever. Matt Shaw will be at the Cubs at some point in 2025. Just mashes at every level. 21 homers, 20 doubles, 31 stolen bases. Plays the infield. You're going to find a spot for him. Chase Burns, missing the top 20, didn't pitch, had a long season at Wake. Just really talented pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Chase Dollander, it sucks because he's so awesome, but he'll never be any good because it's Colorado. I hope they trade him for something because these numbers are too good to waste on an organization like the Rockies. 169 strikeouts, 118 innings. When he was at University of Tennessee, he gave me Jacob deGrom vibes. I wanted him. I thought he should have been 1-1. Had a little bit of a down year, I believe his second or third year with Tennessee. That caused him to drop to 9 in the draft, and then he was giving purgatory with the Rockies, which sucks. I'll be honest, I don't get Ethan Salas. I still don't. The numbers are not good. I don't understand it. I don't know how he's a top 20 prospect still. To me, I would just say put him in the 80 range and say we'll rise him up if he ever plays well. I don't get it. Besides the age. J.J. Weatherholt from West Virginia for the Cardinals. Feels like a Cardinal player. Feels like he's just going to be pretty good. I don't really have much to say besides that. He's just a good hitter. Jack Hagg, on the other hand, I have things to say. The exit velos are crazy. The exit velos are out of control. They're kind of really only focusing on hitting with him, but the hitting has looked pretty impressive, especially in the fall league. That's where I've been more excited about Jack Hagg. Noah Schultz, one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, left-handed pitcher, next Randy Johnson type stuff. I know he's not going to be, but that's the vibe I got when I watched him coming out of high school. And he struck out 115 in 88 innings, whip under 1 for the second straight year. He's gross. Bubba Chandler up to 15. Whoa. What is the reason for Bubba Chandler getting up to 15? After struggling, he made some excellent adjustments, allowing him to post a 1.66 ERA after the All-Star break. So I guess they just love the fact that he's touching upper 90s now. The slider is close to 90s. All right, I'm seeing it. I understand it now. I don't know if he'd be a top 15 guy for me, but maybe I need to watch some more clips on him. Jason Dominguez being called a prospect, super funny. I mean, he's going to be starting for the Yankees in the outfield next year. He's been a prospect for how many years now? Like 7? I don't know. He's the Martian. You know him. He's going to be really good. Samuel Basallo is kind of the hot name that last year just didn't have as good of a season as you would have liked. I think there was a little bit of regression. I think there's some questions as to where he's going to play. I don't think it's going to be catcher. I think he'll be first base. Still a little bit of growth before he gets to the majors, but I could see him coming soon. Travis Bazana, the first-round pick, the number 1 overall pick from Australia, Oregon State boy. He's just a good ball player. You saw him playing the Premier 12 tournament as well for Australia. Just super talented. Charlie Condon was the, number 3 pick in the draft? Yeah, Charlie Condon went number 3 to the Rockies. Power is crazy. He struggled mightily, though. He did not look great. I don't know. Small sample. Charlie Condon's still too good. Christian Campbell, I mentioned him earlier. This is one of the biggest risers. He is a top 10 prospect, and you look at the numbers and you go, oh, I understand it now. 330, 439, 997, 20 homers, 32 doubles from a guy who went from one home run in 22 games to a guy who hit 20 with 32 doubles in 115. Special prospect. Like I said, the Red Sox are focused on bat speed. He is the guy. Look at his bat speed numbers if you can find them. He'll tell you about them. They're all over Twitter. The bat speed went up. He just became instantly better. There's something to it. Jordan Lawler at 9. I mean, this feels ridiculous at this point. I know he spent the entire year in the minors. He was great. He's going to be the shortstop at some point. Please, how much longer for Geraldo Perdomo? Seriously. Kobe Mayo, love Kobe Mayo. Check the draft video from 2020. I was all over Kobe Mayo. This is my boy. I got all his cards. He mashes. He just needs a shot. And I literally think they're moving in the Great Wall of Baltimore for Kobe Mayo. Because they're like, we want this guy. We don't want to trade him. And that left field was out of control. Marcelo Meyer in the top 10 for what feels like the every year that he's ever existed. He's just good. He's just a good baseball player. We want to see a little more power out of him. He got hurt, only played 77 games. This is a Corey Seager-esque build. This is a Corey Seager-esque player. That's always been his comp. Max Clark, low-key, proving everybody wrong. He went off at the end of the year. He finished the year super, super strong. You start to see the athleticism, the strength, everything that Max Clark you saw on the field during workouts, it's starting to come to the paper now. It's starting to come on the field, and he's got a crazy high ceiling. Someone who I'll admit I wasn't particularly as high on everyone else. Jackson Jobe, going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball in a couple of years. He's going to be a part of that rotation for the Tigers. You saw him in the playoffs. I mean, his stuff's disgusting. Maybe one of the best sliders in baseball. Carson Williams, probably a name that maybe if you're not super tuned into the prospect world, you don't know. He's just a good player. 20 homers, 20 doubles, 33 stolen bases at the shortstop position. Good middle infielder. The stuff is really good. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's going to stick at the position, and he's got pop. That's all you can really ask for. That's a top 5 prospect right now. Roman Anthony has a chance to win MVPs, I think. What he's been able to do has been special. He got better at AAA. The power numbers are silly. The athleticism is silly. He is a center fielder for the future. Obsessed with Roman Anthony. He's on all my fantasy teams. Shout out Walker Jenkins as well. One of the best prospects in baseball. Totally deserves it. Follows me on Instagram. Likes all my reels. Love that. 6'3", 210. Runs really well for his size, the power, the hit tool. I mean, 282, 394, 6 homers. The power's going to come. He stole 17 bases. He walked 9 more times than he struck out. Walker Jenkins is a freak. Let's be honest, for all intents and purposes, he is the number 1 prospect in baseball according to Pipeline because Dylan Cruz is just a Nationals outfielder next year on opening day. He played at the end of the season. The numbers were disappointing, but you could see sparks of why Dylan Cruz was a top draft pick, is a top prospect. Truthfully speaking, he shouldn't be on this list. I mean, he shouldn't be on this list. A bunch of guys shouldn't be on this list. But overall, I think Pipeline did a great job. There's no glaring mistakes that I see. There are some disagreements, but this is what happens at the end of the year. If you guys want to see me drop a top 100 prospect list, I know I've teased this for years, but I think this will be the year I do it, maybe in December, before the 12 days of MLB rankings. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. And that's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye.